Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the LARP channel. Today we actually have a very interesting setup. We're actually doing an online over Skype interview with another individual who is very much a LARP enthusiast and loves playing the game, as well as fantasy roleplay in general from a medieval perspective, be it Dungeons and Dragons, some sort of a LARPing, something to that nature. I'll be honest, I'm a little excited because I guess I kind of feel like one of those fans who gets to have a personal conversation with a celebrity type of thing. I know that might not necessarily be the case. It's what I feel like though, and I'm really excited for it. So that being said, let's get to it and check it out. So we're here with Tabletop Champions co-host as well as LARP enthusiast Lauren. Lauren, thank you for taking your time to be with us today.
Thank you.
I know you said last time we talked you were just starting out with LARP. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I started LARP back early 2018.
Okay.
Actually, about this time last year, to be honest.
Wow, so roughly about a year then.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's roughly, in my opinion, there's three different categories of LARP. Mm-hmm. There's the more realistic with like the heavy weapons and armor and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's the semi in between with that's more like a boffer sport. Mm-hmm. And then there is like the heavy role play type of game. Which one would you say the one you play falls under?
Honestly, probably a combination. Well, we do have a combination of the boffer and the first option that you said that I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called.
The more realism type of thing?
Kind of, yes. So the way that our LARP is set up is we do use the foam weapons. We do use boffers. We create a lot of our armor and weaponry. But we do also incorporate a lot of combat and RPG aspect, like the role-playing element into our games. So it's a little bit of combination.
Okay. I guess I probably should have asked this before. What's the name of the LARP you play in?
So the LARP that I play in is based in Northwest Arkansas, and it is called the Forgotten Empire. And it's a LARP based on a bunch of D&D rules and older LARP rules kind of combined into one thing.
Okay. Is it more localized or is it known nationally?
It's very local.
Okay.
It is a very localized thing.
Okay. So yeah. I know there are some nationally known games like Dagahir or Amped Guard or stuff, and then there are more localized games which maybe take place in a few states or just a few cities or such.
Yeah. And Northwest Arkansas does have an Amped Guard group out there. I've never really encountered them. Not because I think they're crappy or anything. It's just I just haven't seen them yet. Yeah, but we're very much a local group.
Okay. So I guess the next question I have to ask is, is there a role play aspect to your game?
Mm-hmm. There absolutely is. We do have a lot of role-playing encounters, and we also have a lot of combat encounters. Our plot, which are basically dungeon masters, set up these encounters where they could go either way. You can either talk your way out of a situation, very much like a D&D game, or you can fight your way out of a situation. So there's definitely a lot of role-playing aspect into our game.
Okay. So I guess the next question I have to ask is, I know you're Lauren in person. Who are you in Forgotten Empires?
In Forgotten Empire, I play a half-orc warrior named Mags. Okay. She's a sword and board kind of girl. She just kind of runs into battle. She's also part of a secret organization called Old Blue, where the current setting that we're in is being ruled by dragons. And she and this organization that she's a part of is trying to combat their tyranny. So it's really interesting because it's taking a little bit of like a bit of a thieves guild aspect of it, and also trying to combine forces to overcome this dragon tyranny. So that's kind of who she is. She just wants to help those in need, but she also doesn't hesitate punching someone's skull in. She's kind of a brute, but she's delightful.
So it's not necessarily like an all bronze and no brains, but it's more of a I'd rather hit you than try to figure out this big puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the people like she's yeah. Her main role whenever we first started is my friend Will. He kind of started this organization. We recently had a reset into this new environment that we were part of, and he wanted to do this organization, and he's like, "Well, I really need an enforcer," and I was like, "Sign me up! I want to do it." So that's kind of who she is. She enforces, but he's also challenged her to try to come up with ways to resolve issues and gain allies and resources. So it's she's interesting. She's fun.
I'm going to ask you the same question you asked me. What do you like about your LARP?
The people. It's definitely the people. So a little background. My friend Will drug me into LARP. I've been best friends with him for about 4 or 5 years. We've played D&D together. We've done a lot of stuff together. He's a brother to me. And he said, "Lauren, I'm going to take you to a LARP one day." I said, "No, you're not." And that weekend we went to a LARP together. And it's the same group. It was just a different setting. And he was playing, he's playing an angry Scotsman, part of a clan, which also inspired my Dungeons and Dragons character, Dagna. And he introduced me to everyone there, and they were just so open and so welcoming, and I didn't feel kind of out of the loop on anything. They very quickly adopted me into it, and the people really do make or break a game, and they definitely made the game for me. So, sorry I went on a little tangent, but
no, it's fine. That's all part of it. I mean, I love how the energy and the enthusiasm goes through players when it comes to LARPs, depending on where you go, and it's always a different perspective, no matter where. So I know one of the other things you'd said was when it comes to your type of LARPs, it can be everything from in-game roleplay to creating stuff and crafting and such. Do you do anything like that?
No, I'm not creative. Period. No, I'm not creative. I did make my shield that I use. I don't craft. I did make my shield that I use. It's a little heavy, but it's my first shield. I love it. I'm not gonna get rid of it. And one of the guys who's also in LARP with me, weapon marshals, so we maintain upkeep all the weapons that we use. So I do clearance guidance.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you don't like about it?
Sometimes it can also be the people. I love the people, but sometimes it can also be the people.
Right.
It's a lot of, you have a bunch of people coming together for a game and a bunch of different personalities, and sometimes those personalities can clash. But a lot of it is also learning how to work with one another. Like my resolution for a problem, for Mags, for example, her resolution to any problems is beating someone up, versus someone else's resolution to a problem is talking it out and being diplomatic about it. So sometimes it's interesting to see those personalities clash in a LARP game. I'm trying to think. There's not really a whole lot else that really. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the times with the way that our LARP is written, there's a lot of rules that can bring down a game. So when we're high-level characters going against a high-level boss battle, you fight for 30 seconds and then a hold is called while we're trying to dictate a ruling or a spell or something like that. And that can get frustrating at times. So a fight that should last only 5 to 10 minutes can last 2 hours. Right. Which it annoys me as a person and as a player, because I want to keep going. I want to keep going. We're almost there. But we do erratas, where basically we go over the rules and we rework the rules and the way it's set up. So we're working on, right now we're in the middle of an errata, and we're trying to work on some rules that can help reduce the time for combat, just because it can get just so lawyers rule heavy ridden. So
right.
Yeah.
Do you have any trading your actual personality with your character's personality?
I'm sorry, repeat the question, it cut out.
some people have difficult staying in character as part instead of letting maybe their actual opinions take precedence during gameplay. Do you ever run into those sort of difficulties?
Sometimes, but I try to combat that by making sure, number one, that my phone is locked away, either in my car or in my character box, so I'm not messing with it. Yep. And then I try to catch up with my friends either the night before a game or before I go get my character sheet, so that way we can have our little conversations before I get my character sheet.
Again, thank you for taking time out of the day. I didn't expect it to take incredibly long, but I do appreciate you putting time aside to do this.
Thank you for giving me a platform to talk about my LARP group.
And if anybody else who's watching wants to follow Lauren, she does have a Twitter account. I'll let you go ahead and talk about that.
So you can find me on Twitter at the Nat1Lady. It's the Nat and the number 1 lady. And then you could also find me on, I co-host a podcast called Tabletop Champions. You can find us there at Tabletop Champions or on your podcast app. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure there are links to those in the description down below. Okay. If you also want to, you can follow us on Twitter at the LARP channel, all one word. So, again, Lauren, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's it for another episode of the LARP channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Everything we talked about today, the Twitter accounts, the LARP game itself, all of it, we're going to put links to them in the description down below. Also, make sure you share the video around. We love it when you guys do that. Subscribe, and don't forget about that bell. Hit that bell. You can keep up to date with all of our videos. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.
Is it working? We got it? Awesome.
I'm good.